Well, trapping season's over. Kind of glad about that. Because then we got summer stuff and camping trips and scouting and all sorts of stuff. So I'm putting up the last 4 cats of the season. I just pulled them out of the tumbler. Just get the corncob grit out, but most of the moisture's out. Skin's pretty clean and dry, but we'll get the cob grit out and start putting them up. And and then we'll show you how they turn out. Okay. Well, I got the 4 cats on the stretchers. And just wanted to do like this one of the last videos. I know I didn't do very many fur handling videos, and I probably should have, because after the sale, handling everyone's fur, and there was some good put-ups and then some not so good put-ups, and so we just got to keep hammering, on people, and really trying to refine their boarding of animals, cats in particular. So I thought this is what I do. They're pretty much dry. There is they're a little bit cold to the touch. But I like to put a little piece of wood here. It just helps me pull the cat off the board when it's all dried, and so I just put that. Also, before I put it on the board, I'll put even though the skin side is already dry because of my tumbler, I'll just put a light coating of borax. The borax it's not there to dry it out or anything. It's mainly, for me, it's to help slip it on the board. That's really all the main reason, and then it also helps it when I need to pull it off. So it doesn't really stick to the fur or the skin. I'm sorry, but it really just helps it come on and off a lot easier, because like many of you, we've torn cats trying to get them off boards sometimes and being overstretched, but. We got about the right width for these cats. That's a 37 and I think about 3/34, so they're not. That might be a 35 or so. So got a couple smaller cats. 3 of them are females, I know, but they're pretty decent bellied cats for around here. But I always pin the eyes open. That'll help game and fish get that tag in there. Pin the ears down, for sure. Fur buyers love that. They know you're handling your cats well. They're not sticking up. Same with the feet. When I put my arm stretchers, they're going to be up, blocking the brown. But what I saw a lot, and you can't see it on these, but really flesh the head. I take my kitchen shears and the parts I can't with my knife, I really just get all the flesh, get all the cartilage that you can, that is at the base of the ear duct. Get that all cut off. They don't need it. And that'll be the last thing to dry anyways. So it just helps from any kind of rot. Say it doesn't dry fast enough, or you're in cooler temperatures. You don't want your ears to rot and smell. Then like Eric said in his demonstration, then one of the buyers, that if you smell anything bad, they're gonna just pass your fur right up. They're not even getting any bit on it, and I wouldn't either. So. Get that cartilage and get that face. I saw too many cats that look like red, wrinkled beef jerky, when you look inside the mouth. And I just can tell they didn't do anything with the heads. They might have fleshed the bottom, but then I can look at the legs, and because I wash my cats and stuff, and there's a little bit of borax, they're nice and clean. Nice, clean, crisp. The better you flesh your cats, the more stretch you're going to get out of them. They're going to be a little bit more supple when you pull them off. They're not going to be rigid at the board and continue to dry even after you take them off. They're going to be very pliable. The hair is going to stick up better, so flesh them good. I cut off the bottom lip. Not on every cat. I think I forgot one, but you don't need it. It doesn't hurt the fur. It doesn't cause any problems. It might even give you a little bit more stretch, but really you don't need that bottom lip. So I cut mine off. The other thing I do, which I should show you guys, let me back up here, is when I stretch a cat, I pulled it on my board. I pull the tail side pretty tight. Not super tight. You don't want to really bring it out, but bring it snug. And then I'll stick pin. Then I flip it over, and that's where I will pin to my tail board. Next, up here, I'll start at the top. And I'll put a couple pins in here, but not jerking it down, because then you're starting to bring the fur around. We've already done that where we've pulled our fur as tight in the back, which brings this around. I do know some people will put some pins up here, but I'm always afraid when I pull it open it might rip, or if it dries it might rip through those pins. But then I'll grab one side of the leg and then pin it through the other, and then nail it to the board. And I'm going about every inch or 3/4 of an inch all the way down to the bottom. And then once I do that, that's when I stretch my cat. I'll stick my claw hammer in there, open it up, put a little piece of wood in there. Like I mentioned, easier to get it off, and then I'll go ahead and spread my stretcher, and normally it will come out exactly how we need this, wide in the middle of the belly there, and so once I do that, then I go ahead and I'll grab this, and right where the legs are, there's a bunch of white, so you can actually increase this white by sometimes inch and a half, and that's why these are called money pins. And sometimes you can go a little bit higher with your money pins, but this cat will blend really nicely once I finish blow drying it out. But you can pull that over, and I'll pin it, and pull that over, and I'll pin it, and then I'll work this side, and then you get down the leg, and I'll pull down a little bit and pin it, and so then I'll go all the way down on both sides, and that just opens up that belly just that much wider. So then when I get down to the bottom, and I cut mine flat right here. And some people say, "Oh, why are you cutting the legs off?" Well, I'm not cutting the legs off. I just like my legs equal with the tip of the tail. It's just an aesthetic thing. It doesn't give you more or less money. But I have noticed a lot of more people are doing that, probably because I've mentioned it before. But I'm literally only cutting off like 1 or 2 inches of that bobcat foot, and it's not really needed. So I like things nice and square, organized, and so that's what I do. So then after I pin that, then I'll go ahead. You'll have extra skin on this side because you've pulled that around. So then I'll go ahead and pull it down. You'll get that extra inch and a half of fur. On a bigger cat, you may even get 2 inches, but you'll get that extra. And so then I'll grab that extra skin after I pull it down, and I'll pin it to the tailboard on both sides. I'll grab it, pull it down, and pull it over, and pin it to the tailboard. Because literally the tail ends right up here. So I got another inch or so of fur. And then I'll go ahead and pin this straight, pull it down and pin it down there. And I pin one on the sides, and that's pretty much all I do. And at this point, when I'm boarding a cat, and so finally, my next thing is to just go ahead and I use, because I used this is what I use for when I wash my cats. And this was done after I fleshed them. I stuck them in a 5-gallon bucket, 4 inches of water with this livestock soap, and just let them sit there for 5 minutes. Worked them real good, rinsed them off, and stuck it on my Gamble, and I sprayed. Used my air compressor, get most of the water out. That'll just save my corncob grit. So then I'll throw it in the tumbler and pull the rest of the moisture out. But just like a shampoo on a lady, you wash it, it kind of cleans everything out, gets rid of all the junk, and then use a hair dryer to fluff it up. Some people just let it sit and then they'll comb it out, but I am telling you, that's what a hair dryer does. It activates the stuff that's in a shampoo, and it's that heat that activates that and fluffs it up. And a good fur comb. I think I got this from F&T, but it separates all the little fibers of the hair, the undercoat and the guard hairs. It separates all that while you're blow drying it, and that's what makes it so fluffy. The hairs are repelling against each other. And if you did a good fleshing job, after that thing dries, then that hair will mostly stay at that 90 degrees from your skin of the cat. And so so literally you can set it down on a table and it just kind of floats on that hair. That's what you want. Otherwise, you don't do this, and I've seen so many cats, they literally look like that. It's hard to see, but it looks flat. The hair is just literally laying down onto the skin. You want that hair fluffed up. So these are Arizona cats. They don't have a ton of hair, but you can, wherever you're at, if you're Tennessee or North Carolina or wherever, you can make your cats as fluffy as you can get them, just by putting in a little bit more work. So I'm going to go ahead and fluff these up, and then I'll show you what we have. Okay, guys, I'm done fluffing up the furs. Starting to get a little darker here, but fluffed them up with the hair dryer, brushed them out with the fur comb. Let me turn around. So there they are. Got my arm stretchers in it. You can use coat hangers. Make sure to spin that white around so that it's all on the front legs. Every now and then you'll see some of that dark come around, and you should really try to spin the white out because you're trying to cover up the brown underneath anyways. So you want that white to be as all on the front forwards there. Every now and then you'll get cats that have a little castiness on that white, but it is what it is. You can't help what you catch, but you can help how you put your animals up, and that's the main thing about fur put up. It's trapping isn't just setting a trap; it's also following through all the way to the end of putting up the fur properly. You're treating the animal with respect, you're treating the buyer with respect, and then you're also getting respect, because that's what comes to my mind when I'm shagging fur or lotting people's lots at these fur sales and stuff like that. I can tell, that's a good put up. He really cares. He's put in the time. I respect that trapper for doing such a good job on the fur, and that's respect from other trappers is a big deal. So I always stress that, just spend the extra time, put up the fur, and make it look good. So these are my flattest sets, my flattest cats. They were in the back of the freezer. So these were the beginning of November cats, and there should be no reason. These are desert cats, and you can make them as fluffy as you can. That's the object. And here's some furs that they should pretty much almost be dry. You can tell by the checking the ears, and those are nice and hard. So I've already taken the arm stretchers out, and they go inside the house, and I have fans on them at night. During the day, I'll stick these in the sun a little bit, not too much. I don't want to get them too hot, especially in the beginning, but it won't take long for that skin to dry up. That's one of my unique cats that I'm going to get tanned. But excited to get these off. There's definitely some nicer cats here. These are $200 to $300 cats. These may be a little bit less. We'll say $200. But I just wanted to do this video because it's really important to do a proper job as trappers. We represent ourselves, and I never like when people come in and they're not happy with the price when they read out the bids and you look at their fur and, yeah, that's actually a pretty good deal, buddy, and they grab their fur and walk off with it, which is your choice. But it's we can always do better on our fur, including me. I'll just keep, if there's any other new things so that I can learn and do better, I definitely work on that. So hopefully this helps some people. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll probably upload this to my YouTube channel. It's called Trapping Spots, and subscribe if you haven't to. Or, you could also share the video. I'll try to make it shareable, that if you kind of a Christmas present or a birthday present to somebody that could use a little fur handling advice, if they'll take it, you could share it with people or groups. But all right, well, we'll see you down the line, and hope you all guys have a good summer, and we'll look forward to next year.